While the opposition has put up a united front in its attempt to take on Chairman of the Rajya Sabha Jagdeep Dhankhar, the India bloc is divided by murmurs within. These murmurs are becoming rather noisy now. Trinamool Congress MPs are openly coming out and talking about Mamata Banerjee taking on a leadership role in the India bloc. What happens next? I'm Barkha Dutt. You're with the Mojo Story. Our focus today is on the political rumblings that are taking place within the India bloc, the opposition bloc, even as the opposition tries to put up a united front in its taking on Jagdeep Dhankhar. The opposition has announced its intent of proceeding with a no-confidence motion against Jagdeep Dhankhar. Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge called him the biggest disruptor in the House. But there are disruptions of another kind that are taking place within the opposition camp. After the results in Haryana and Maharashtra, and Rahul Gandhi's singular focus perhaps on Gautam Adani, something on which the rest of the India bloc does not seem to be on board with him. There are now open calls, and not just from the Trinamool Congress, on a larger role for Mamata Banerjee. The opposition's united attack on Jagdeep Dhankhar is getting blunted by the focus on the divisions within. How do we understand what is happening politically? Let me introduce our very interesting panel as we look at the writings on the political wall. Sandip Ghose, political analyst, is with us. I always introduce him as a supporter of the Prime Minister, but conditions apply, as they say in the fine print. Good to see you, Sandip, after a long time. Ashwani ji is with us. Ashwani Shahi is the leader of the BJP. Always good to have you with us, Ashwani ji. Namaskar. Arati Jerath, bright and red, looking all ready for the Christmas season. But who's seeing red in the opposition bloc? We'll find out. Arti, good to see you. Tehseen Poonawalla, diehard supporter of the Congress party, but conditions apply to him as well, and he hasn't been very pleased with the direction that the Congress party is taking these past few days. And also joining us is an avid and passionate Trinamool Congress supporter, Touseef Ahmed Khan. Touseef, always good to have you with us. So something very interesting is happening. We are seeing open calls for Mamata Banerjee to take on a bigger role. And while the Trinamool Congress saying it would not necessarily make news, we're now seeing leaders like Supriya Sule, Lalu Prasad Yadav also endorse this. We'll have these clips in the program. Tehseen, your first thoughts. You support the Congress party. You feel the Congress is making some missteps. One of the things that you and I have been talking about is how the obsession on Adani isn't translating electorally. And clearly that difference has been visible in the India bloc. Neither Sharad Pawar nor Mamata Banerjee have actually endorsed this attack. And now there are calls for Mamata Banerjee to virtually take charge of the India alliance. How do you see this development? Tehseen, please unmute yourself. Tehseen, yeah. Okay, we're not able to hear you, Tehseen. So I don't know what is happening and why we can't hear you at all.
Is this
Never
fine?
mind. Just read.
Yeah,
now we can. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Thanks. All right. So there are two parts to this, Barkha. Number one, I think that if Mamata ji or anybody else wants to take up a leadership role, that does, if you look at it at one point, show the talent in the India alliance. There isn't one leader. There is Mamata ji. She's experienced. There's Arvind Kejriwal ji. There is Uddhav Thackeray ji. There is talent, sir, whatever. So there is talent. People from various states who've run states of experience can come in, take over the India alliance. There's nothing wrong in that. But look at the other perspective. The India alliance, Barkha, and you will bear, and Aarti will bear with me, is not a formal alliance like the UPA, erstwhile UPA was, or the NDA currently is. So there isn't a structure as such. What the India alliance is actually is political parties, many of whom contest against each other in states. For example, Congress versus TMC in West Bengal, or left versus TMC in West Bengal, Congress versus left, Arvind Kejriwal versus Congress in Delhi, Punjab, etc. And they come together on a national issue, for example, the vice president's issue. So if Mamata ji does believe she should be the leader of the India alliance, nothing wrong with it. I have a lot of respect for her. She needs to call a meeting. Once that meeting is called, there has to be a formal structure. A formal structure where Barkha has an email who she can reach to. Once that formal structure is made, somebody can be elected as chairperson, as Sonia ji was, or the Prime Minister is heading NDA. It can't be wishy-washy talks by the likes of Kirti Azad, who keep going, who get Azad from one party or the other, and to make some 50 points with Mamata ji, come and give these bites in parliament. It doesn't work like that. Number two, while I do think that the Congress is wasting some opportunity attacking the said industrialists, I think also the opposition needs to unite together and have a common plan. That can't just be left to the Congress. Whatever are those common plans must be formulated. However, the caveat in this is the Vice President and Chairperson of Rajya Sabha, and with respect to the Speaker, are not letting Parliament run, and nor is the government letting Parliament run. That is the problem. They're not. Imagine, Barkha, and I'll end with this. For 50,000 rupees, they wasted an entire day of Parliament. The government wasted. I mean, 50,000. They found a bundle and they wasted crores to run the Parliament. That is how this government is running away. So the opposition, rather than doing the Maharashtra mistake, where Sanjay Raut comes, I am the Uddhav ji should be chief minister. Now Kirti Azad and all of Mamata ji's henchmen come and say she should be. This just turns people off. Don't make this mistake. Right now, run Parliament, put the government on the back foot, then decide formally. I am saying this with a lot of responsibility. Don't please.
Are you saying that this focus on Mamata Banerjee's leadership pitch is actually helping the BJP?
100%, it's helping the BJP. Just like Sanjay Raut's nonsensical rants helped the BJP and the Mahayuti in Maharashtra. It is the exact same mistake again. I'm not saying Mamata ji is getting it done purposefully. Make no mistake about that. But it is helping the BJP. Have a common program to attack the government.
Okay, the common program has been attempted in the criticism of Jagdeep Dhankhar, but unfortunately the headline on Dhankhar is running parallel to leaders like Lalu Prasad Yadav, Supriya Sule coming out and making their statements. Let's start with Kirti Azad. Tehseen Poonawalla said that Mr. Azad is Azad from various parties. These are wishy-washy statements. They're helping the BJP. What did Kirti Azad exactly say? Take a look.
तो बहुत सारे घटक दल हैं इंडिया ब्लॉक के जो प्रसन्न नहीं हैं और वो चाहते हैं कि ममता बनर्जी को लीड करना चाहिए इंडिया ब्लॉक। उन्होंने ही खड़ा किया था, यहाँ तक कि राजनीति के भीष्म पितामह सबसे पुराने वरिष्ठ व्यक्ति पिता तुल्य आदरणीय श्री शरद पवार जी ने भी इसी बात को कहा है। और आप स्ट्राइक रेट यदि देखें कांग्रेस का 1-1 बीजेपी के साथ तो 10% है सिर्फ, लेकिन अगर आप टीएमसी का देखें बीजेपी के साथ तो हम 70% स्ट्राइक रेट पर आगे बढ़े हुए हैं। तो उनका अनुभव भी है, एक अनुभवी व्यक्ति भी हैं, सरकार भी वह 2011 से चला रही हैं, लोग उनको बार बार लगातार जिता रहे हैं। नरेंद्र मोदी जी जब भी वहाँ गए हैं तो उन्होंने मुंह की खाई है। जितनी बार वो बंगाल को बदनाम करने का प्रयास करते हैं, ममता बनर्जी के बारे में बोलते हैं, लोग उतने ही बढ़ चढ़ करके और उन लोगों को वोट करती हैं। तो उनकी एक अलग पहचान है ममता बनर्जी की और वह सबसे सक्षम है।
Very quickly before I open this up, Tehseen, very quickly to you, and then I have to go to the others. Tehseen Poonawalla, go ahead. Yeah.
I see. When I say nonsensical statements like this. Yes, Mamata ji defeated Prime Minister Modi and the BJP in West Bengal. No two ways about it. What was her record in Goa? She helped BJP win. If you count the Goa votes of TMC and Aam Aadmi Party and Congress, BJP would have lost. What was her record in other northeastern states where she took away the entire Congress leadership? They've all come back to the Congress. She destroyed the Congress there. So she's lost a deposit. She's got less than Nota. Now, if Mamata ji becomes the chairperson of UPA, will left agree to it? But these kind of wishy-washy statements are only helping the BJP. Again, I'm saying Mamata ji is not getting it done. But you must have certain amount of common sense along with a common minimum program.
Okay, let's open this up. A very angry Tehseen there. But the fact is, Tehseen, and you'll have to concede this, the Congress's obsession or Rahul Gandhi's obsession on Gautam Adani is also exposing fissures within the India bloc. Sharad Pawar has spoken about his proximity to Gautam Adani. It's no secret. We have Mamata Banerjee openly doing business with Gautam Adani. We have Revanth Reddy. As someone said, Rahul Gandhi can't even convince the Congress chief minister. Let's open this up. Ashwani Shahi, आपको तो अम्यूजमेंट हो रहा होगा, हंसी भी आ रही होगी, लेकिन दूसरी तरफ ऑपोजिशन ने नो कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन भी मूव किया है जगदीप धनखर के खिलाफ। किरण रिजिजू की स्टेटमेंट भी मैं थोड़ी देर में प्ले करूंगी। आपका बयान क्या रहेगा? ये इंडिया ब्लॉक में जो हो रहा है उससे आप मजे तो ले सकते हैं, लेकिन ममता बनर्जी हैज बीन अ फॉर्मिडेबल चैलेंजर टू योर पार्टी।
देखिए बरखा जी, कोई मजे लेने की बात नहीं, राजनीति है, राजनीति में बहुत सी चीजें होती रहती हैं और लोकतंत्र जब से देश आजाद हुआ बहुत सी घटनाएं घटी, बहुत सी चीजें ऐसी हुई जहां पर कोई नहीं जा सकता था। दो ऐसे लोग मिले जिस पर जो है मायावती और मुलायम सिंह की पार्टी का मेल होना भी बहुत बड़ी बात होती है, तो इसमें कोई हंसने वाली बात नहीं है। मगर यहाँ जो तहसीन भाई का गुस्सा है ये जायज है, क्योंकि ये लॉयल कांग्रेसी की तरह हैं और आज राहुल गांधी पर अविश्वास जो है इंडिया अलायंस के लोग कर रहे हैं। गुस्सा ये है इनका, यहाँ पर जो जायज है एक अविश्वास प्रस्ताव धनखड़ जी के खिलाफ तो है, वो मामला अलग है, मगर ये एनडीए अलायंस का जो अविश्वास राहुल गांधी और गांधी परिवार पर है, ये एक अलग तरीके का चैलेंज है। कीर्ति आजाद जी उसी क्रम में एक बात आगे कह रहे हैं, भाई भरोसा नहीं रहा। भरोसा इसलिए नहीं रहा कि राहुल गांधी जी अपने अनूठे कामों के लिए, अनूठी चीजों के लिए रोज जो है देखिए हर जगह अब अप्रासंगिक हो चुके हैं, वो धीरे धीरे अपने आप को वो प्रहसन का पात्र बना चुके हैं, चाहे जैसे भी करें। आज सदन में 5-7 मैं सत्र देख लेता हूं, कभी ना कभी राहुल गांधी का एक अलग ही होता है, कभी हिंडनबर्ग, कभी पेगासस, कभी राफेल, कभी कुछ। ये एक साजिश है। साजिश क्या है? ये शायद सोरेश चचा के पैसे पर पलने वाले पार्टी के लोग हैं जो कि ये काम कर रहे हैं। ये चचा सोरेश का जो आदेश होता है, बटन दबाया, वो बोलना शुरू कर दिया गांधी परिवार ने। इसलिए ये देश की जो राजनीतिक दल हैं, जैसे ममता जी हैं, शरद पवार साहब हैं, इन लोगों ने सोचा कि किनारा करना ही ज्यादा बेहतर है, क्योंकि अब इनसे ना हो पाएगा। जो एक आपने सुना होगा कि तुमसे ना हो पाएगा, तो राहुल गांधी जी से ना हो पाएगा। ममता जी, देखिए जहां तक कीर्ति आजाद जी की बात थी, हम लोग 0 से 44 थे, ये लोग कांग्रेस के लोग तो 0 हो गए, और हम लोग 3 से 77 हो गए। तो हमारा तो वोट परसेंटेज वहां भी बढ़ा, हमारा केरला में भी बढ़ा, हमारा तमिलनाडु में भी बढ़ा, हमारा आंध्रा में भी बढ़ा, हमारा तो वोट परसेंटेज बढ़ रहा है। मगर ये अविश्वास प्रस्ताव क्या है? गांधी परिवार पर पहली बार किसी तरीके से देशद्रोही का साथ देने का आरोप लगा है, तो ये मजबूरी है कि कांग्रेस उसको किसी तरीके से दबाएगी और अविश्वास प्रस्ताव लाने की बात करेगी।
आश्वनी जी, आपने दो इंटरेस्टिंग चीजें कही, एक जिन पे मैं कुछ बोलना चाहती हूँ। एक आपने कहा रियल नो कॉन्फिडेंस इज नॉट अगेंस्ट जगदीप धनखड़, इट इज एक्चुअली बाय द इंडिया ब्लॉक अलायंस अगेंस्ट राहुल गांधी। उस पे तो जरूर पैनल को रिस्पॉन्ड करना चाहिए। लेकिन ये जो आपने कोट अनकोट चाचा सोरोस की बात की, जॉर्ज सोरोस की, आपको लगता नहीं कि बीजेपी इज होल्डिंग ऑन टू दिस जॉर्ज सोरोस इश्यू टू काउंटर द अडानी इश्यू? तो एक तरफ वो लोग हैं, वो बेवजह ऑब्सेस्ड हैं गौतम अडानी की, बेवजह मीनिंग इलेक्टोरली इवन देयर ओन चीफ मिनिस्टर्स आर नॉट लिसनिंग टू देम। दूसरी तरफ आप लोग ने एक कंस्पिरेसी थियरी शुरू कर दी। आपको लगता है कि भारत की राजनीति, भारत की डेमोक्रेसी इतनी फ्रेजाइल है कि उसको कोई जॉर्ज सोरोस इन्फ्लुएंस कर सकता है? हमारे वोटर्स भी तो कुछ है, हमारे अपने इंस्टीट्यूशन भी तो कोई चीज है।
देखिए, अगर इसको जो है कहीं यहाँ पर बैठे हुए सभी हमारे आपके समेत सभी सम्मानित चार जो बैठे हैं, सभी पढ़े लिखे लोग हैं और सबने पढ़ा है इस पर। सोरोस चाचा के बारे में जो पढ़ा गया है, सोरोस चाचा का ही बयान था कि मैंने इतना $1 मिलियन या $1 बिलियन रखा हुआ है मोदी गवर्नमेंट को गिराने के लिए। उनकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से किस तरीके से एनजीओ के थ्रू पैसे आए, कैसे ले रहे हैं लोग, ये कहीं छुपा नहीं है। उसने फोर्ड फाउंडेशन को दिया, उसने कहा दिया, म्यांमार में जो है एपीएलएपी का जो ऑफिस है उसमें वाइस प्रेसिडेंट रही हैं सोनिया जी। तो ये सब चीजें हमको विस्तार से बताने की जरूरत नहीं है। मेरा कहना सिर्फ इतना ही था बरखा जी कि एक अडानी जी अगर देश के एक व्यापारी हैं, उद्योगपति हैं, मैंने आज तक सुना है, पढ़ा है कि अगर किसी देश का व्यापारी उद्योगपति बढ़ता है तो देश बढ़ता है। जैसे कि मैं एक उदाहरण देता हूं आपको सैमसंग का। सैमसंग जो है खाने की चीजें बेचा करता था और आज सैमसंग क्या है दक्षिण कोरिया के लिए, मुझे नहीं बताना है और सब लोग जानते हैं उसके पीछे दक्षिण कोरिया का कितना बड़ा हाथ है उसको बढ़ाने में। लेकिन अडानी जी अगर कोई काम कर रहे हैं, मैं सम्मान के साथ नाम लेता हूं उनका, इसलिए मैं उनका प्रवक्ता नहीं हूं, वो हमारे देश के सम्मानित उद्योगपति हैं। कांग्रेस के समय में मुंद्रा एयरपोर्ट किसने दिया था अदानी जी को? ये बताइए, कांग्रेस की सरकार थी, मुंद्रा एयरपोर्ट इन लोगों ने ही दिया था। आज एमजीआर को इन्होंने दिल्ली एयरपोर्ट, जब से मैं आ जा रहा हूं तब से एमजीआर जीएमआर के पास है, किसके पास है, किसने दिया था? तो इन लोगों ने भी दिया था। तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, 56 साल तक सरकार चलाया है। मैं कहना चाहूंगा कि राहुल गांधी जी तेलंगाना में अगर जो है कोई चीज दी जाती है तो अच्छी बात है, राजस्थान में अशोक गहलोत साहब के यहाँ जो है 60,000 करोड़ इन्वेस्ट करते हैं तो अच्छे होते हैं, आंध्रा में, उधर जो है तमिलनाडु में, हिमाचल में, जहां भी करते, छत्तीसगढ़ में अच्छे होते हैं।
I agree that Rahul Gandhi has not been able to convince his own chief ministers of raising the Adani issue, nor his allies. But before I come to Arati, Sandip, and Touseef, Tehseen, just one sentence, because otherwise Soros will keep coming up. Let me start with Adani. Do you think Rahul Gandhi, and I have to say Rahul Gandhi, is making a mistake on getting fixated on Gautam Adani?
Politically, yes. I do. And I support him. I want him to be prime minister. But yeah, The government. It's a low hanging fruit. People can go after the government. There's so many issues. This is not the core issue for the common people of India. They don't understand it.
Okay, let's open this
But
up now. I'm sure you.
but
Yeah,
on
you want to go?
Soros, but on Soros,
Yeah,
but on
yeah,
Soros, Soros
yeah.
is a convenient tool for the BJP to divert attention from the said industrialists. 11 years, Prime Minister Modi's been Prime Minister. Drag the guy down. He started his NGO funding in India when Prime Minister Vajpayee was Prime Minister. Several BJP people associated with BJP have been part of the funding, or institutions that have got the funding. And they said nobody cares about Soros. If a 90-year-old can destabilize India with the most powerful government in the last few decades in India, then maybe we should relook at ourselves and the government that we have and ask the government to apologize and leave.
Okay, so Soros is the distraction for Adani, but politically, Rahul's focus on Adani is a mistake. Both things can be simultaneously true. Institutionally, the Adani debate can, of course, carry on, and we have to separate between politics and institutions. Arti, what is going on here? The opposition would have hoped that its no confidence motion against Jagdeep Dhankhar would be the political story of the day. But because of the kind of comments that have come, even from a Lalu Prasad Yadav, who said today in a kind of half asleep drawl, and I'll just play out that clip just before I come to you, ki Mamta ko de do. Just take a look, Arti, and I'll come right back to you.
ममता जी कांग्रेस उसकी आपत्ति जता रही है लालू जी
कांग्रेस की जताने से नहीं होगा ममता को दो
मुख्यमंत्री नीतीश कुमार यात्रा पे जा रहे लालू जी
अच्छा है जा रहे हैं तो अब तो नैन सेकने जा रहे हैं
न तो ममता जी को दे दिया जाए
हाँ दे दे
25 में बोल रहे हैं सरकार फिर से बना रहे हैं लालू जी
हाँ बनाएंगे हम लोग
नीतीश कुमार दावा कर रहे हैं कि 225 सीट जीतेंगे एनडीए
Okay, I mean, you can barely make out what he's saying. Lalu's Prasad Yadav, I think, poor gentleman, is somewhat not the Lalu he used to be. But he says, Mamta ko de do. And a reporter asks him, Congress may object. He said, nahi, theek hai, Mamta ko de do. This has now become, this is overshadowing the Jagdeep Dhankhar headlines. Arti.
So firstly, Barkha, let's cut the noise, let's cut the clutter, let's, try to understand what is happening. This no confidence motion, I mean, apart from being a symbolic protest against Jagdeep Dhankhar, is actually quite a hollow move. Firstly, it hasn't even met the basic requirements of a 14-day notice period because Parliament is going to end in 10 days. So 14 days notice period has not even been met, that criteria, right? Number one. Number two, the opposition simply doesn't have the numbers to actually push this no confidence motion through. So apart from making a symbolic protest and, sort of kind of, trying to drive home the message that Dhankhar is a biased chairman of the Rajya Sabha, it's really not a sharp political move, So, I mean, I really, don't think it is worth looking at or discussing seriously or anything. Now, to get to this no confidence move against Rahul. See, unfortunately for the Congress, it has lost, it has fared very badly in the last 4 elections. I mean, even though the, India Bloc is in power in Jammu and Kashmir, and it is in power in Jharkhand, the Congress's own performance has been very, very poor. And, in politics, it is important to win elections. If you don't win elections, I'm afraid your graph really starts going down and, your clout with your allies or with other parties diminishes. So it's as simple as that. And, listen, there is an election coming up in Bihar in 2025. If you remember the last elections that were held in Bihar, the Congress wrung 70 seats out of the RJD, to contest those elections and lost the bulk of them. And many at that time felt that it was a bad deal for RJD because they gave away too many seats to the Congress. And that's why they came very close to winning the elections, but ultimately were not able to cross the goalpost. So I think Lalu is doing a bargaining pitch from now because he knows that, seat sharing is going to come up for talks with the Congress. And I think this time they have absolutely no intention of being squeezed by the Congress like that, and they're going to try and give the Congress as few seats as possible. Thirdly, let's look at the India bloc. Okay, the India bloc was an arrangement made for a Lok Sabha election. The primary aim was to stop the Modi government from reaching that 400 par, that it was boasting about. And to that extent, I think the India bloc did succeed because, they stopped the Modi government from even getting a majority. So, the purpose behind the India bloc formation was successful. Now that those
then was it, but then was it supposed to just exist till the Lok Sabha elections?
Well, it was formed for the Lok Sabha elections because, as you know, as Tehseen pointed out, there is no formal structure in the India bloc. There is no convener, there is no steering committee, there is nothing. And even Rahul Gandhi, he's not really the leader of the India bloc by virtue of the fact that the Congress has 99 seats in the Lok Sabha and Rahul Gandhi occupies the position of leader of opposition. He's being called the leader of India bloc. But technically, he is not because there is no formal structure of the India bloc. So he cannot be called leader. So, and Mamata Banerjee is not even a member of the India bloc. You remember she walked out before the election.
That's
right.
So
how can you even demand that she be handed over the leadership?
So then how do we understand this noise? How do we understand?
This is all posturing, which has been, I think, created by two things. One is the Congress's pathetic electoral performance in the last four assembly elections. And the second is the Congress has been, so when it came back fresh from the Lok Sabha results with 99 seats, the Congress was very assertive. But the fact is that the Congress has not won 272 seats. So it needs to understand that it cannot continue being assertive in Parliament, as Tehseen pointed out, and for once, and there are many points on which I agree with Tehseen, that what they need to do is put up a joint front to corner the government in Parliament. It has to be limited to that.
But Parliament is not functioning, and Parliament is currently obsessed with things that nobody cared.
Rahul Gandhi is obsessed with two things. One is Adani, and the other is the RSS. Now, these may be Congress issues. They are not necessarily issues of the rest of the opposition. So please take the Congress out on the streets, do your Bharat Jodo Yatra, make these your issues on the street, but do not create, problems in Parliament by raking up issues which do not matter. As leader of the opposition, his duty is to represent the opposition, and the opposition is not just 99 Congress members. It is 243 members of the India bloc. So he has to be a bit like Vajpayee, put core issues like the Vajpayee did. He put Ram Temple, Article 370 on the back burner to make his NDA work. I think Rahul Gandhi needs to put his core issues on the back burner and find a common platform with the rest of the opposition parties.
I'm sure
because that is the need of the hour at the moment. There is no election to be fought right now, a national election.
Got it. But before Tehseen responds to that, I need Sandip and Touseef to come in on a very interesting question. If the India bloc doesn't exist formally, what does Mamata Banerjee want to lead? Is she saying, make me in charge of political strategy? And also, Arati is absolutely right that since the Lok Sabha election, Sandip, the Congress has performed dismally in the assemblies from Haryana to Jammu and Kashmir to Maharashtra. But Mamata Banerjee, the Congress would argue, is a one-state leader. And it's your state. How do you respond?
First of all, I think, Barkha, that has been the basic problem. This Congress's sense of entitlement. Now, how do you determine what makes you entitled to be the leader? Just because saying that we are across the country, you see how many states, for that matter, Congress is ruling across the country. Okay, if you look at the map of India today, Congress by itself, how many states are they ruling? So you and if you consider Haryana, Himachal as a state, which is not even as large as Delhi municipality, you cannot therefore say that we are a national party in that sense.
I mean, it's more a national party than the Trinamool Congress, right? They would argue.
That way, then there is nobody else. Then that is what you're getting into a two-party scenario. The point is not that, Barkha. Point is essentially who will lead an opposition voice. There are many times BJP was also a two-member party in the parliament over there. But who really represents as the collective and who has that gravitas or ability to get that consensus to get one issue?
Do you believe that's Mamata Banerjee? Do you believe that
Mamata
person is
Banerjee
Mamata?
probably in today's situation, when if you look at the other people among the opposition, for whatever reason, Sharad Pawar has been, he's both physically and age-wise, and his party's numbers that have been truncated. We don't want to talk about Shiv Sena. Stalin and people were not really too much interested in what's happening in Delhi. They have their own agenda. In that situation, if whatever people who are left, Lalu, you've just seen what is the situation where he is. So if somebody of certain gravitas who has at least a national, top of mind recall, Mamata Banerjee may not be having seats across the country, but I would say among all these people, if you were to today go and do a poll as to who are the people who are recognized, Mamata Banerjee will be recognized across the country, whether from Tamil Nadu to, and I dare say much, the recognition or affinity will be far better than, say, Uddhav Thackeray's recognition in some of these states, whether it's in the Northeast or elsewhere. Whether she has the seats or not. So to that extent, she has a political equity to go and talk. The problem there is why I think this is a call, whether you like to call it a no confidence in Rahul Gandhi or other, means they are not finding someone who can agitate on an issue which resonates with both the country as well as across all MPs and across parties. And that maturity or...
I agree with you on Adani, but do you agree that Soros is a non-issue also politically? You can keep having these debates.
No,
I'm saying I agree with you.
Whether Soros, the way it is being raised, etc., you might say tactically whether it's being used to deflect, etc. But if you ask me whether Soros is an issue, I genuinely believe Soros is an issue. I'm just back from the US after 3 weeks. Even in the US today, people, a lot of people who are Democrat supporters, etc., they think Soros has been an issue, and his kind of thing has actually costed the Democrats the election because of the kind of influence peddling, etc., which has been done. Is the same set of people who were talking there in the US as the kind of people who talk here. That's a different point. In terms of how it is being raised, whether it's being raised as a counter to Adani or not, that's a matter of whether you call it optics or tactics. That's a separate discussion.
Okay, let me bring in Touseef, who has been waiting patiently. Touseef, 2 questions for you. You support the Trinamool Congress. Trinamool is openly saying Mamata should be leader, but Tehseen will ask leader of what? If you want to build an organization which is a multi-party formal alliance, let Mamata Banerjee start there. That was first point. His second point was all this talk is helping, it's loose talk, it's helping the BJP. How do you respond?
Look, the way, if this is a question from Congress, leader of what, then they're themselves exposing that they actually were never serious about India Alliance. How the India Alliance came to being last year, they had a convener, and Nitish Kumar was the convener. Meetings were convened, meetings were held. And what we saw just before the 2024 election, Nitish Kumar went out of the alliance. Had he been a part of the alliance, today was BJP able to form the government? Would BJP able to form the government? No. BJP has formed the government with the help of Nitish, who was supposed to be with the India Alliance. And who would you blame for that? Who will take the accountability? It is true that the India Alliance is right now does not have a chairperson, is not so organized, not so structured, but it has to be structured. That is the whole point. And Mamata Banerjee is a success story. Who else better than Mamata Banerjee to lead the alliance?
But how do you have? But it's a one state party. Tehseen said in Goa, the presence of the Trinamool actually ended up helping the BJP. Outside of Bengal
was a pet project of the National General Secretary of Trinamool. It was not the pet project of Mamata Banerjee herself. But now Mamata Banerjee has openly said that if given a chance, she is ready to lead the coalition. Yes, there were talks last year as well that Mamata should lead the coalition. but that was never discussed. Now we have leaders like Lalu
Okay,
or
I have to
Sharad
interject to
Yadav.
just ask Sandeep why he is beaming from one Khan to the other. Sandeep, why are you laughing?
I'm asking, is Touseef now making this formal distinction between Mamata Banerjee, the National General Secretary of the party? That is what I picked up. That's where my ears
Yes,
went up, actually
yes,
hearing that.
yes,
And I
yes,
want to
yes.
underscore that point. Is something which is now an official position of, you just, Touseef said in the beginning, you can call him Trinamool supporter, a Trinamool person, not a Trinamool supporter. So is that the formal position of the party?
Touseef, is there a clear division between the niece and the aunt now, between Abhishek Banerjee and Mamata Banerjee?
No, see, people may interpret it the way they want, but the fact
Yes.
remains that Mamata Banerjee always focused on Bengal elections. She always focused on the 2021 assembly elections, and thereafter in
So
2024
you're
Bengal
saying
MP
the party
election.
was led in a
Now,
different you're saying the party was mistakenly ambitious outside of Bengal. That was a mistake.
no, I'm not saying that. I am saying that unless the alliance is structured, unless Mamata Banerjee is heading the alliance, then there will be,
Okay.
you will see the results. Mamata Banerjee's whatever she says right now resonates in the entire country. She is one of the tallest leader, and the I'll take 5 minutes if I have to start
No, please, 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 please,
counting
please,
the
please, don't,
achievements of
don't
Mamata
take 5
Banerjee, and I
minutes.
want to keep it brief. I want
Don't
to
take
keep
5
it
minutes.
brief. Yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay,
I want to
okay.
keep
I
it
see.
brief.
Yes. So I want to bring it. Yes. Okay,
I'm
complete your
simply
point
saying
quickly.
just 30 seconds, just 30 seconds. But
Okay.
what was the purpose of the alliance? The purpose of the alliance was to win the elections. All that matters in politics for the political party to win elections.
Agree.
And after
Agree.
2024, Haryana, then Maharashtra, even Jammu and Kashmir, Congress has not, performed as one would expect from the largest opposition party. Therefore, the Congress need to keep their ego aside, allow the younger partner in the alliance to lead because she is a capable person. Unless Congress
Okay.
is not interested about the alliance at all.
Okay, Congress has to keep ego aside, says Touseef. I want to bring it Tehseen. Yes, Tehseen. Lots to respond to. Lots to respond to. Not just what Touseef said. Sandip Ghose saying Soros matters. Arati pointing out that the point is that the Congress's dismal performance is what has opened the door for these attacks. And Ashwani Shahi saying the real no confidence isn't against Jagdeep Dhankhar, it's against Rahul Gandhi.
So let's take each thing by itself. Let's go with what Sandeep said. Yes, Soros is an issue. I think so. I personally think Soros is a crook. I personally believe that. I think he does want to influence media. He's done that in the United States of America. And I was hoping my prime minister was powerful enough to protect. My prime minister for the last 10 years is only crying. When his BJP government was there, this chap came in with his NGOs. So if Soros is an issue, the ability to deal with that issue should be that of the Prime Minister, Home Minister, Defense Minister. You can't be blaming the opposition for what is going wrong on everything. And if you have tangible proof, those proofs must be acted against legally. You can't come and quote fake media reports and then lead nowhere. This Soros, while it may be an issue, is a distraction against the industrialist issue. Now, let's come to and again, the industrialists should be discussed on institutional level, should not be used to stall parliament. Come to the issue that my friend Touseef was making. When you are the leader of the opposition, or you want to be the bigger party in the opposition, or you want to lead an opposition group, it is incumbent that you don't take away the entire MLAs from a state, like in Meghalaya, what TMC did. Now, was the General Secretary TMC involved in it and not Mamata Banerjee? How naive are we? In my city of Mumbai, Mamata Banerjee, not the General Secretary, had a press conference where Mohtarma, whose husband now contested and met the Taliban-loving Maulana, had gone, and she had all these creme de la creme, including one elite writer who are all endorsing Miss Mamata Banerjee as the next Prime Minister of India at a champagne and cheese event. Was that the General Secretary or Mamata Banerjee? Are we seriously nice? I have seen these games between Sharad Pawarji and Ajit Pawarji. And I've told you this, Barkha, 2008, Ajit Pawarji with the NCP forms another government with while Congress in center, and Sharad Pawarji and defenders of NCP say, oh, Sharad Pawarji didn't know about
But
it. Please,
if the Congress, the party you support, had done better,
yes,
if Rahul
that's
Gandhi,
true.
if Rahul Gandhi were not obsessed, as Arti said, with two issues, Adani and RSS, so Parliament has actually become redundant. Okay, one of the things that was meant to change after the Lok Sabha elections is that the opposition had more heft in Parliament. That heft has been wasted because the opposition is just not speaking on anything but Gautam Adani. Does the person who has to pay more for the price of onions, and you were telling me that your mother was talking
Yeah.
to you about how she's paying more for onions. If your mother from a privileged background can notice the price of onions, imagine what lower income households are going through. The opposition is not talking about this. It
Don't
is
say opposition, Barkha. Don't say opposition.
Rahul Gandhi.
It is Rahul Gandhi, to some extent, maybe Shiv Sena, Shiv Sena UT. That is the whole problem. You are usurping the voice of the opposition and everybody, and that's why I said is a problem of entitlement, which is something Congress has to get out of. And Arti was bang on the point of RSS.
I just finished my point, Sandeep.
Please. No, he wants to respond to you. Go ahead.
No, I do concede that the opposition, but for raising the relevant issues, one is the domestic crisis, one is the economic slowdown, Syria, Bangladesh, two very important issues that will affect our nation. Canada, we've not yet been briefed as through Parliament, that nation hasn't been briefed. All of these issues, again, the combined opposition, and I say this combined, you need gravitas. Today, honestly, Barkha, my heart broke seeing what's happening in Parliament. Both sides, there is laughing, giggling, in both sides, the government and the opposition. It looks like a bunch of attention-getting college kids, and it's great. It's great in college, both government and opposition. But we, the people, are suffering. We need good debate. Let's ask the government what's plan B in Syria, Bangladesh. We need the government to respond. We need to get what's the plan on the economy. And I don't see why the opposition collectively
Whose mistake is that? Whose mistake is that?
Yes, the Congress is weak. I concede that completely, and they've lost the gains of 2024, June 2024. But also, the rest of the opposition is so opportunistic that they are seeing short-term gains and not long-term gains. For example, what Shiv Sena did in the Maharashtra elections is exactly what's happening in Parliament. Rather than seeing the long-term gains of how to actually first get the BJP out, then we can decide amongst us who becomes the leader. And the muhavra that happened in Maharashtra, कि गांव बसा नहीं लुटेरे आगे, is exactly what's happening. Everybody's seeing an opportunity, but there's a difference. See, Barkha, in Shiv Sena, the Shiv Sena Congress vote bank was not the same. Mamata ji would definitely want the Congress to be over. Akhilesh would definitely like it. And NCP has grown at the expense of a Congress. Aam Aadmi Party has grown at the expense of a Congress. And therefore, I come to Rahul Gandhi. He has to realize what I've been saying on your show for the last 3 years, that it's great to have alliances, but unless the Congress organizationally is not strong, these alliances will always walk over the Congress.
Okay, Arti wants to respond, and then Ashwini ji. Arti.
No, you're going on talking about Maharashtra. I mean, I think the original mistake in Maharashtra was the way the Congress fought with Uddhav Thackeray for seats. I mean, that alliance should have projected Uddhav Thackeray as a chief ministerial phase, because he had been chief minister. He had run the state quite well. He performed very well when COVID was, around. You should have had a chief ministerial phase. Why didn't you have one? And why was the Congress, just because it had done well in the Lok Sabha election? So again, that sense of entitlement that Sandip mentioned. You thought you should have more seats than anybody else to contest. So I'm sorry, let's not go down the Maharashtra route, okay? But, this whole thing of Mamata Banerjee being leader of India Bloc, honestly, what are we talking about? Bengal elections are in 2026. If Mamata Banerjee is leader of the India Alliance, is she going to have the Congress in an alliance in West Bengal with her? No, she's not. So how can she be leader of the India Alliance? This is what I'm trying to say, that you have to cut.
But then why this noise? How do you interpret the timing of the noise?
Because the Congress has been acting like a big brother through, yes, everybody was ready to, accept the Congress's assertion, when immediately after the election, because the Congress had done phenomenally well by its standards, okay, and got 99 seats. But after you lose election, if you're a loser, you have to retreat. You have to strategize again. You can't be out there, like sort of shooting your guns and arrows and things as if nothing happened. You've lost. Right. And therefore, you need to be a little humble. How was this India Alliance formed? This India Alliance was only formed because the Congress was humble enough. It contested the lowest number of seats ever in the Lok Sabha election.
And do you want to come in on the BJP?
No India Alliance.
Do you want to come in on Soros? Because I'm going to go to Ashwani Shahi next, and then I'll start, and then Touseef, and we'll take closing comments. The BJP raising George Soros again and again now in Parliament.
Yeah, I think it's a diversionary tactic because they want to get Adani off the front pages of the newspapers. Listen, Soros may be an issue for because there's this whole thing of the global left versus the global right, and so on and so forth. Because the ideological issue. If there is anything serious about a Sonia Gandhi connection to Soros' plot to destabilize this government, then take her to court. For God's sake, you've got all the agencies with you. File a case against her, charge her, put her behind bars. You put people behind bars for the most ridiculous reason that they've been finally let off, by the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court says 17 months you kept somebody behind bars, but you don't have a case against. So take her to court. Why are you just holding press conferences? You are behaving about Soros the way Rahul Gandhi is behaving about Adani. These are not issues that matter to people.
Okay. Tehseen has one sentence, and then Ashwani ji. Tehseen, one sentence.
RTG is right, except that when the BJP diverts with Adani, with Soros, the BJP gains, but the Congress loses with or the opposition Adani, simply because the government wants to run away from a debate in Parliament. So it's convenient for the government to. They wasted a day in house of 50,000 rupees. Some bundle of 50,000 rupees, they wasted a crore. It cost 2-3 crores to run the house for a day. Look at who wants to run away. So yes, it works for the government, and that difference, therefore, is not an equal difference.
I think that's an important point. The BJP's focus on Soros may be diversionary, but it's not hurting the BJP. The Congress's focus on Adani is hurting the Congress because it's stopping the opposition from coming together to talk about things that they can agree on. But Ashwani ji, आरती जी कहती हैं भाई भेज दो सोनिया गांधी को कोर्ट में, केस में, ये जॉर्ज सोरोस तो आपका बस आंसर टू अडानी है. वेरी क्विकली ऑन दैट आप क्या बोलेंगे?
देखिए, आरती जी के जो विचार हो सकते हैं, मगर मैं ये कहता हूं पाकिस्तान हमारा दुश्मन देश है ना. पाकिस्तान क्या कहता है कि हिंदुस्तान में अस्थिरता ले आओ, आतंकवादी भेजो, यही तो कहता है. इसलिए हम कहते हैं वो दुश्मन देश है. जब जॉर्ज सोरोस ने एक पूरा कई मिलियन का जो है व्यवस्था करके रखा था इस आपके हिंदुस्तान को अस्थिर करने के लिए, और आरती जी की नजर में वो भगवान है, तो आरती जी को भगवान को पूजे, मुझे नहीं कुछ कहना.
वो तो नहीं कहा कि वो भगवान है, उन्होंने कहा कि आप लोग इसलिए
नहीं, उन्होंने कहा इशू नहीं है. इशू क्यों नहीं है? इशू क्यों नहीं है? मैं आ रहा हूँ.
आरती खुद बोला. एक मिनट.
नहीं बरखा जी, मुझे थोड़ा सा, मैंने बड़ा धैर्य से सबको सुना है. मैंने किसी के बीच में नहीं बोला. मैंने किसी के बीच में नहीं बोला, तो मैं चाहूंगा कि मुझे लोग सुने.
आपको गलत नहीं बोलना चाहिए अश्विनी जी.
मैं गलत नहीं. आपने कहा इशू नहीं है, तो मैं आपने अपने शब्दों में कहा, मैंने अपने शब्दों में कहा उस चीज को.
प्लीज आप पर्सनल अटैक मत कीजिएगा प्लीज.
मैंने कोई, देखिए आरती जी कोई पर्सनल अटैक नहीं कर सकता हूँ. मेरा किसी से कोई दुश्मनी थोड़ी ही है. थोड़ा सुन लीजिए, मैंने कोई पर्सनल अटैक नहीं किया आरती जी. मैंने सम्मान से.
एक मिनट अश्विनी जी. आरती ने ये कभी नहीं कहा कि जॉर्ज सोरोस भगवान है. When we are talking about whether it's an issue, George Soros may be seen said a crook, but our democracy is bigger than George Soros. इतना कहा जा रहा है. अब आप प्लीज आगे बोलिए. हाँ.
नहीं, मैंने कहा कि आरती जी ने भगवान कहा. मैंने ये कहा कि आरती जी ने कहा कि वो इशू नहीं है, तो आरती जी के लिए अगर वो दुश्मन,
उन्होंने बोला
दुश्मन अगर भगवान की तरह है तो आरती जी देखे, मैंने ये कहा है, आरती जी को मैंने नहीं कहा, आरती जी ने कहा।
अच्छा ठीक है, ठीक है।
दूसरी बात मैंने कहा, उन्होंने कहा कि आप सोनिया गांधी को जेल भेजिए। भ्रष्टाचार के मामले में, नेशनल हेराल्ड के मामले में जब ईडी बैठाती है माता और पुत्र को, तो बंगलौर तक में ये लोग जो है जलाकर आगजनी करते हैं। ये स्थिति है कांग्रेस की। अब वो कैसे होता है मैं नहीं जानता। फिर अगर सबूत होगा तो ये सभी लोग जेल जाएंगे, और सबूत एजेंसियां अपना काम कर रही होंगी। हम राजनीतिक दल हैं, हमको आरोप देखना है, एजेंसियों को अपना काम करना है। मगर आपके इस बहस में एक बात बहुत क्लियर हो गई है कि जो हम लोग कहा करते थे ना कि ये इंडी अलायंस जो है, ये डॉट डॉट जो है, वो डॉट डॉट एकजुट कभी हो नहीं सकता। ये भ्रष्टाचारियों का एक जो है संगठन था, अपॉर्चुनिटी के लिए सब लोग एक हुए थे। और आज जो है तहसीन भाई ने भी मान लिया, आरती जी ने भी कह दिया कि ये जो है कोई मतलब ही नहीं है, इन लोगों को कोई फॉर्मल, इन लोगों का वही नहीं। तो वो डॉट जो बीच में था ना बरखा जी, वो डॉट लगा ही रह गया। ये इंडिया बनाने की कोशिश जो थी ना, अखंड भारत जो है INDIA, वो नहीं बन पाया। और वो पहली बैठक से नहीं बन पाया, पटना की बैठक से लेकर बेंगलोर की बैठक तक देख लीजिए, नहीं हो पाया। तीसरी बात, तहसीन भाई कह रहे हैं प्रधानमंत्री जी हमारे बड़े मजबूत हैं, तो सुरेश एक्टिव कैसे हैं? प्रधानमंत्री जी अवश्य मजबूत हैं, मगर घर के जयचंदों का क्या करेंगे? घर के विभीषण का क्या करेंगे? घर का मीर जाफर का क्या करेंगे? जो हमारे घर का मीर जाफर है उसको कैसे आप करेंगे? तो इस चीजों के लिए सुरेश जैसे 365 आते हैं, और हिंदुस्तान इतना मजबूत है कि वो टकरा कर, जो आयरन डोम लगा हुआ है ना राजनीतिक और सब चीजों का, वो टकरा कर वापस हो जाते हैं। मगर ये घर के विभीषणों से और मीर जाफरों से कौन बचाएगा? जरा सा ये भी तो सोचिए ना कि घर के लोग ही आग लगा रहे हैं घर को। चौथी बात मैं कह रहा हूं कि कांग्रेस जो है, और तहसीन भाई ने ये वाकई मैं सहमत भी हूं इससे, कि कांग्रेस के जो युवराज हैं, जो LOP भी हैं, तहसीन भाई थोड़ा सा ट्विस्ट कर ले गए कि विपक्ष मुद्दा नहीं उठा रहा है। बाहर आकर कहते हैं कि प्याज महंगा, आलू महंगा, आदमी महंगा, जनता सस्ती, सब कुछ करते हैं लोग, लेकिन सदन में जनता ने उनको अपना नुमाइंदा बनाकर भेजा है, और वहां पर उनकी पार्टी इतनी सीट पाई है कि LOP का दर्जा पहली बार किसी संवैधानिक दर्जे पर बैठे हैं। लेकिन वो तो भजन गा रहे हैं अडानी अडानी। क्यों भाई? देश की आवाम से उनको कोई मतलब नहीं है। बाहर जो चीज बातें कहते हैं राहुल गांधी जी, उसको अंदर क्यों नहीं रखते हैं? और हमारे तहसीन भाई उसको घुमा ले जाते हैं कि विपक्ष नहीं रखता है। विपक्ष ने तो कह दिया कि राहुल बाबा तुमसे ना हो पाएगा, स्पष्ट रूप से। अभी हमारे जो यहाँ जो है तृणमूल कांग्रेस के जो प्रवक्ता बैठे हुए हैं, तौसीफ जी, इन्होंने भी कह दिया दबे शब्दों में कि राहुल गांधी जी से ना हो पाएगा, और ये काम एकदम स्पष्ट है कि नहीं हो पाएगा। तभी लालू प्रसाद जी जैसा उनका प्रमुख पिलर जो था, जो सबसे मजबूत पिलर था, उसने कह दिया कि दे दो भाई ममता जी को।
जी। अच्छा, अब आप, since we're all a little calmer, let's take last comments. Touseef, one second, Touseef, do you acknowledge that this is just a symbolic, जैसे आरती ने कहा कि क्या, what does Mamata Banerjee want to lead? There's no election in Bengal for till a few years now, right? After and before that, what do you want to lead? जब इंडिया ब्लॉक ही कोई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नहीं है, what does Mamata Banerjee want to lead? How do you respond?
The opposition, the Mamata Banerjee wants to organize the opposition and lead the opposition, which is lacking now. The opposition is not organized, and if opposition means that Congress has to step aside and let a smaller partner in the alliance to take the lead, then the Congress must allow that. As simple as that. Mamata Banerjee gave the name to this alliance. Mamata Banerjee helped form this alliance. But what happened, we all saw in 2024 election, just before election, few months before election, Nitish Kumar left the alliance. So this must not happen again. We need to be structured and put a face of opposition where the issues of the people are brought, and Modi is faced with a formidable face. Mamata Banerjee has a proven track record in defeating BJP. In spite of BJP making all their attempt to break Trinamool party, they have not been able to make any dent in Bengal.
So one thing is clear that nothing is permanent in politics. In June, we were talking about a resurgent Rahul. RG Core happens, we're talking about a weakened Mamata. 3 months later, we're talking about a resurgent Mamata. Nothing is permanent in Indian politics. That is the one universal lesson. If anyone wants I know, Tehseen, you have a closing comment. Arti, do you want to come in with 30 seconds? Arti, Ashwini, Sandip, if you just want to come in with any thoughts. Arti?
I just feel everything that we're seeing today is really, a storm in a teacup. And ultimately you'll find that it's pretty meaningless because, what we're now focused on is state assembly elections, not a national election. And in Parliament, though, I do believe that the opposition should get together. And for that, the Congress needs to step back a bit, take your core issues to the streets. But do not use it in Parliament if you don't have a consensus with your other allies.
Sandeep?
Okay, I'll make, without any rhetoric or any other thing, I'll make quick 3 points, starting with Mamata Banerjee. Two things, I would say. First is, again, the same question of stepping back, etc. What you were saying 2 months ago, if you said Mamata Banerjee is down with RG Kaur, she has shown that, how keeping your head down below the storm, you can weather it out and, you can be there. See, which is something which certainly Congress has to learn from her. And you might say that whether she has numbers or not, if it is a question of having an Arti's point 2025, something may happen in 2025, they may not. But what opposition needs is somebody like an interim head, sort of a non-playing captain or whatever you want to call it. I don't want to give an analogy of a Yunus, which is not the right analogy. Somebody, even if they have to induct, to come and bring a semblance of consensus or talking of a simple agenda. Today, there is no such people. And that Mamata Banerjee can provide. And I'm very glad that, Tehseen raised this issue of gravitas. Barkha, though you were very impressed with Rahul Gandhi's interviewing Modi and Adani.
How was I impressed?
I saw one of your tweets saying that. Like, that is what
I said. Rahul turns interviewer in single quote. Single quote means irony. Single quote ka matlab hota hai irony. By the way, for the record, I believe the singular obsession on Adani is the Rafale of this political season. Just like Rafale had no electoral gains, Adani is going to have zero electoral gains for the Congress. If you want my opinion, for the record,
for the record, one is zero electoral gains, but why the bigger issue is, those kind of gimmicks, like when they did in Maharashtra, opening that safe, or here you're doing this thing, that is where you're losing the gravitas. And that is why somebody is saying that, let him step aside. At least somebody can at least get the voices together, talk of something there. That's where Mamata Banerjee, you're saying, is coming in. And one last comment on Soros. And here, Arti, everything is fine. But I think here BJP is doing two very clever things. They know that going by the legal route, it doesn't work. It can actually, give a sympathy factor to the other people. So today, BJP, the government staying out, letting Amit Malviya and people do the talking, and other people from the media. And unlike Adani, which people do not really worry too much, common people, about industrialists making money and a political industrialist nexus, people do bother about if you're making a story, right or wrong, about anti-national agenda. And there is this whole conspiracy against India, and these people who are trying to destabilize. That sticks. I think to that extent, whether it's going to pay them longer-term dividend or not is different. I agree on the fact that this could be a diversionary tactics, but there I think BJP has latched on to something much more concrete than this Adani story.
I think as Tehseen pointed out, Soros at worst won't help BJP, but it can't hurt. And Adani is hurting the Congress, and that is a very critical point. Politically, we're talking, by the way, holding no briefs here for the issues that are being raised one way or the other. Ashwini ji, before I give Tehseen the closing word, agar aap kuch bolna chahe 30 seconds mein, please. Ashwini ji.
जी, बरखा जी, देखिए, कुल मिलाकर मैं ये कहना चाहता हूं कि राहुल गांधी जी अप्रासंगिक हो चुके हैं। सदन में उनको देश के मुद्दों से कुछ रास्ता करना चाहिए और देश के मुद्दे लेकर आना चाहिए, न कि देश के उद्योगपतियों के खिलाफ जाके अपने राज्यों को छोड़कर सिर्फ और सिर्फ मोदी जी के और उसके चक्कर में पड़े हुए हैं। इसीलिए इन लोगों ने इनको निकाल कर फेंकने का फैसला किया है कि बाहर रहिए आप। दूसरी बात मैं कहना चाहता हूं कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी आज देख रही है कि सदन में कितने सत्र हो गए, लगभग जो है 7-8 सत्र जो है इन विपक्षी लोगों ने बर्बाद कर दिए हैं। देश को चलाने के लिए, देश के बेहतरी के लिए, देश के विकास के लिए जो काम करने चाहिए वो काम नहीं हो पा रहे हैं। लेकिन एक बात जरूर है, जहां इनका अपना लालच होता है, जैसे किसान का आंदोलन चल रहा था उस समय ओबीसी का एक बिल आया था, सभी राहुल गांधी जी ट्रैक्टर चला रहे थे उस दिन, याद है हमको, और दौड़कर पूरे कांग्रेस के लिए और सारे विपक्ष के लोग आकर उसका समर्थन किए, क्योंकि वहां पर वोट की राजनीति होनी थी वहां। इसलिए मैं चाहता हूं कि देश के विकास के लिए भी राहुल गांधी कुछ सोचें और इस तरीके के कामों को न करें और सदन को कम से कम सुचारू रूप से चलने दें। आम जनता का पैसा जो है जाया हो रहा है।
Tehseen, last word to you. Tehseen.
Quick points. What I heard my dear friend Sandip, who's just returned from a trip in the USA, said, look, it's true, 94-year-old billionaire is destroying India, but hey, Modi ji and Amit Shah ji are so smart that instead of following the constitutional duty to protect India, they're allowing the IT head to troll ruling party, except that wasn't the IT cell. It was raised in Parliament by responsible members of Parliament, and in fact, I think some ministers who raised the issue. So one, it was raised in Parliament.
Referenced it today.
Exactly. So it wasn't done by the IT cell. And number two, it doesn't matter how smart or unsmart you are. If somebody is attacking the country, it's your goddamn duty to protect the country. Which leads to the second point that the TMC spokesperson Touseef said. He said, look, or the perception that, look, this is not the issue for the TMC, except that Mahua Moitraji was in the forefront of leading the attack on the said industrialist. In fact, in your podcast, Barkha, I criticized her, and I felt really that Mrs. Gandhi should not have stood by her when she used the language, "We will fight the Prime Minister in gutter." On this industrialist issue. So the TMC is no different on this issue. Now let me come to the last issue and a closing comment. Just a funny one from my friend from the BJP. Vibhishan, if he wouldn't have gone with Maryada Purushottam, Ravan would not have got defeated. So sometimes it's not about being bad. You have to defeat the Ravan, you have to defeat the evil within you.
Yes, but I think the point is that you have to live to fight another day to defeat any evil. And in politics, that's about winning elections. Survival is about winning elections. I think that is the bottom line that we can agree on. Tehseen Poonawalla, Ashwani Shahi, Sandip Ghose, to Touseef and to Arati. Thank you so much, everybody. And to our audience, thank you and see you soon.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.